What's going on, gun lovers? It's Rizzo, and we're back today. We're going to be talking about the head of the ATF. Um, all right, so the top brass of the ATF just kind of made waves on national TV. They were on a recent CBS segment and exposed a little more than just firearms. It kind of showed a shocking lack of knowledge and this is the agency that's supposed to be, regulating our firearm usage and our firearms, and it showed they have no idea what the hell they're doing. All right, so let's talk about it. So during the show, leaders tried to showcase deadly weapons that they've taken off the street, but what they really showed was just a bewildering mix-up of what makes a firearm a firearm. I mean, really. We'll show you some video. You got to see this. I mean, these cats didn't know. They struggled with bump stocks, mixing up semi-automatic and fully automatic. So it's kind of clear that they have no clue what the hell they're talking about. And these guys shouldn't be at the head of the the largest firearms. I don't even know what to call them. Just ATF. Ugh. All right, so some of this stuff is just unbelievable. Chris Bort, he couldn't quite figure out a bump stock, despite his department previously stating that these didn't make guns fully automatic, right? Then there's the debate over hunting with bump stocks. So missing the point that the Second Amendment isn't about hunting at all, right? Right? No. They didn't just stop at the bump stock. They started talking about short barrel rifles, brace pistols, trying to argue the similarities where the courts have already drawn clear lines. So don't get me started on 3D printed firearms and how misguided they were about those. These two knuckleheads were idiots. But the cringe, it didn't stop there. So when you watch a ATF expert fumble with a Glock slide, that's just more than awkward. And it's a glaring sign that these people that are shaping our gun policy might not fully grasp the tools that they're regulating. All right, so I'm gonna go to my note because I want to make sure I got everything straight. All right, so interview started with Delta Bach. Delta Bach is the director of the ATF. I probably should have mentioned that at the beginning. This guy's an idiot, though. Him and Bort was showing CBS reporter Margaret Brenning a fully automatic AK variant and explaining that you couldn't acquire it, that it can't be acquired unless people had it before 1986, which, whatever. Even though we know machine guns are produced before 86 can still be legally transferred between private citizens, $200 tax stamp, But then this guy showed a semi-automatic version equipped with the bump stock and tried to argue it was the same thing. So he said the fully automatic version was the same as the semi-automatic version with the bump stock. Idiots.
So this one, everybody would agree, right? Covered under the National Firearms Act. Fully automatic weapon. Government can have it. Military can have it. It's an antique. Some people, if they had it before, depending on 1986, they can have it, but otherwise, no. This one, which looks and operates just like it, this is a bump stock attached.
All right, so now Bort, I got to see the video. He didn't seem to know how a bump stock worked and couldn't figure out how to get the bump stock to lock into position. So he can't even get the thing to work. They want to regulate these, but they can't make them work.
It's a great question, right? Of course, right? How can you tell, right? These two things are the same.
They look, right.
They operate the same. Both of them can shoot right through this 75-round clip.
That's what a bump stock looks like?
Correct. This is a bump stock. I'm trying to get it to lock back into position.
And Brennan, the lady doing the interview, she asked him, was there any reason to use a bump stock for hunting? Of course, Bort said, there wasn't. Who the hell said the bump stock was used for hunting? They just making up stuff. Oh my God. A bump stock for hunting.
There is no reason you would use that for hunting.
No, I do not believe you would use this for hunting. So,
This is to shoot large numbers of people at once.
Well, let me just intervene in this.
Yes.
That's what happened in Las Vegas.
Any kind of propaganda they can use to get the anti-gun media and every town and all these knuckleheads up in arms, they'll do it. A bump stock for hunting. All right, so then keep saying and then y'all gotta see this. Delta Bach showed her a short barrel SBR, of course, it's regulated under NFA, and a brace pistol. And he was trying to make the point that both firearms were the same. SBR and a braced AR pistol, the same thing.
This is another pair, right? This relates to this notion that what's called a short-barreled rifle also falls under the National Firearms Act, right? Congress determined that weapons, so there's two things going on here. One of them is you can shoulder a weapon. It makes it easier tactically to use, to aim, to fire, right? It's a more accurate, more lethal weapon. At the same time, the smaller the weapon, the easier it is to hide. So Congress determined back in the 1930s that short-barreled rifles, which were both smaller than a certain length and were designed to be fired from the shoulders, that combination made it unusually dangerous, right? So here's two things. These look exactly alike, right? I defy, one of them, everybody would agree is a short-barreled rifle because it's sold in one piece. The other one's the exact same thing, but it's sold in two pieces. So people are claiming, no, that's a pistol brace. The two weapons are designed to be fired from the shoulder, identically. They for all intents and purposes,
look the same,
right? And so we're treating them the same. That's all that rule says. We're treating these two things the same.
All right, so next, it tried to demonize 3D printing. All right, the ATF showed a fully automatic AR-15, then showed the semi-automatic version with a Yankee boggle. Okay, I hope I said that right. But the Yankee boggle is a device that can be printed on a 3D printer and dropped into some AR-15 pattern firearms that allow them to fire automatically. He was trying to say that the semi-automatic AR-15 was also a privately made firearm, which you refer to as a ghost gun. I don't know, that's not Casper. I can see them, they're not ghosts.
this item that the director is showing you here, this is a privately made firearm. It has no serial numbers, no information on it.
Oh.
So that's what I didn't even know. That's also a ghost gun. In addition,
This is a ghost gun.
yeah. See, so this is a ghost gun. Then you can make the ghost gun a fully automatic weapon too, on top of it. So combine those things.
Correct. So by simply placing this 3D printed machine gun conversion device into this rifle, it brings it to this level.
So just simply put, there's no serial number on this. So if someone has shot up a group of people, you can't trace this to the person who pulled the trigger.
Yeah,
You as the federal government cannot do
That is
that.
generally correct, yes.
So they didn't just try to scare him with the AR-15, the personally made AR-15. Then they're gonna show him a polymer 80 equipped with the Glock switch. So we just did a video about Glock switches not too long ago. So, but the Glock switch is a I guess they call it a machine gun conversion device. But basically, it's a device you put on the back, usually of a Glock pistol, to change it from semi-automatic to automatic fire. When he was showing it, he struggled to remove the slide from the Glock. He then couldn't get another slide onto the Glock. And you know, these are some of the most popular pistols in the world. You should know how to take it off, right? I don't even like taking them off. I know how to do it. I done got pretty good at it.
So that's the frame.
Did is we tried to work with the law that Congress gave us and take the receipt.
All right, so last one, I promise. All right, so they're gonna end the segment. They're gonna show her a 50 caliber rifle and a belt-fed M249 and then complain that gun stores in border states allow people to buy firearms with cash. Don't matter if you buy it with cash, now you still got to do a 4473 and do your background check, right? But they don't want you to do cash because they want you to do the credit card so they can get the credit card to track your information. These little billies ain't sick. I'm gonna say the bad word. I had to get it straight. They're not slick.
And we depend on firearms dealers, many of whom are our first line of defense, who will pick up the phone and help us and try to interdict this. And for those who aren't doing that, I hope and expect that as Americans, we will all do that. But those aren't, somebody comes into your store in a border state and plunks down $12,000 cash money for one of these things, so that there's no credit card trail. My word, we hope that people will help us as Americans and continue to help us and not make that sale and protect our safety. And
so the segment, the CBS, it was meant to be to warn everybody, the general public about deadly weapons. But all it did was kind of highlight a lack of firearm knowledge from the two guys at the top, at the head of the ATF. All right, that's not good. So us as gun owners, as advocates, it's our job to stay informed and challenge any misinformation when we see it. And this is misinformation, all right? So, what's your take on it? Do you think that, the ATF should be knowledgeable, of the firearms, the rules? They're trying to enforce these rules. They should at least be knowledgeable about what's going on. If you got comments about it, let me know down below what you think about the ATF and what they're doing. So, these guys are out here, they're making a fool of themselves, they're making a mockery of the Second Amendment. So we'll talk about it more. But until then, you guys stay safe, shoot straight, keep training. We'll talk to you guys later. And don't listen to these knuckleheads at ATF. Freaking idiots.